All right, there we go. So, guys, a few videos ago, I did the Joseph Chapelon narration. And this is why I always go back and watch things over and over and over again. This is another reason why it will be good working for a multi-million dollar company, because I go over things over. You can say I'm a little what do they call it? Is it OCD? Compulsive disorder? I'm a little well, actually it depends what it is. I'm not I don't have compulsive disorder as far as there's a few things I do over and well, it's more of when I know I have to study something over and over again. Um, so if I study a piece of information and I learn something from it, I always go back to it, thinking that I'm missing something, even if it's nothing there. I have to watch it over and over and over again, and then it turns out that I was missing something from it. I said I knew it. That's why I keep looking at it. So a few videos ago, we were looking at the Joseph Chapelon thing, talking about the robots, and he said in that video that angels have 28 rings of consciousness. I think he said humans have 7. I think he said the vegetable class has 1 ring of consciousness. It makes you think of the movie Lord of the Rings. And I said, that's it. That's why I really don't, I can't get along with most people. I said, they go to isolation right there. If people calling me an earth angel, I got 28 rings of consciousness. A human being has 7. Well, no wonder I don't deal with them. I don't deal with most people. Like if I deal with people, it has to be a specific reason. That's why I don't buy into the whole that I used to people please and stuff like that, because no, that's not what I was doing. I was running my own experiment. Like I said, somebody who moves to Cambodia and moves to Las Vegas by themselves, that's not somebody concerned about people pleasing. That's somebody living in their own world, basically. And then the reason I do people please, most of the time, is just to get them, out of my hair, so to speak. But hold on, y'all. Drive north, then turn. So humans have 7 rings of consciousness. Earth angels and demons, Joseph Chapelon said, has 28 rings of consciousness. I said, that's it. That's why I don't really get along with people like that. Now, what's wrong with people? What do I mean? Explain how you don't get along with them. It's like I know what they're gonna do every single time. I know how they're gonna judge me. I know what box they're gonna put me in. I know no matter how I sit down and try to explain to them a situation that I need them to understand, they're not going to understand it. They are given to their feelings most of the time. They cannot perceive of other rings of consciousness. It's like it has to be either this or that, and that goes back to what I was saying in the other video the other day about these people. It's like a 2-lane highway. They either going this way or it's no other lane. There's no in between with these people, because they don't have an expanded awareness. That's why. But you could say also that can bring on a new level of empathy on my part, because you got to understand who you're dealing with. I heard one reader say the other day, she said, in your future encounters, understand that you're dealing with children. She says, now that you have this power, you have to understand that you're dealing with that people that are children. So if they get you upset, you got to understand first and foremost, they're like children. Think about that, guys. An angel has 28 rings of consciousness. A human being has 7. That's 4 times as much more brain capacity. Now, that does not mean that a human being cannot know something that an angel don't know, because there's a lot of things I don't know. We're talking about awareness and we're talking about frequency. How much they're able to hold in or hone in on, right? People, well, wondering, things about me, why I look like this or why this or why that. Maybe it's because I'm just attuned to higher frequencies. It's not really what I know. There's a lot, I'll tell you all the time, there's a lot of things I don't know. There's a lot of things humans know that I don't know. But I have a more expanded awareness of of rings of consciousness. And with most humans, like I said, just to close it out, with most humans, it's like there's no in between with them. It's either this or that with them. They don't. It's like no in between. So when I was young, I can't tell y'all. Like when I was young, and I used to get real irritated with people, a lot more than I do now. I'm talking about like when I was a 10-year-old boy, I couldn't be around other 10-year-olds. They really, really, I'm telling y'all the truth, made me so mad. Why did they make me mad when I was a boy? Because it was like you imagine being around people you just know everything they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna think. You know what they're gonna say. You know what they're gonna go behind your back. And after a while, that gets boring, man. It's like, can't you just be something else? No, they can't because they only have 7 rings of consciousness. That's like asking uh, uh, I don't even know. That's it's asking us one species to do something another species is doing, and they can't because they're not that species. So me going back to that Joseph Chapelon video, I remember when I first heard it, I'm thinking I'm human, right? Because I look like people. This is even in the Twilight Zone. They had these aliens that came down. They looked just like people, but they wasn't them. Just because somebody has 2 arms, 2 legs, and a face, that don't mean that they you. They can be a totally different species, but look like everybody else, but they not. They showed us this in the Twilight Zone, y'all. They showed us this in the Twilight Zone. I gotta close it out, guys, but yeah, I just remember how upset I used to get as a little boy with the other kids because it was so easy to figure them out. This also might have something to do with why people really don't test me and always go behind my back and say stuff, because they know it's something about me not to play around with. You would think that somebody would have came in my face and did something to make me go. It's never happened. They just always going behind my back and doing stuff and saying stuff. And the way people behave, how people always got to be in groups. They can never seem to think for themselves. I told y'all, you find one of these humans by themselves, they just be looking around like they're stupid. Their mind only works in a hive consciousness, on a hive situation. They can't think for themselves. They can't govern themselves. So remember, me thinking I'm a human and I'm not even a freaking human. And hearing that Joseph Chapelon video, I said, man, when I heard that video, you thinking you a human. No, you're one of those angels that got 28 rings of consciousness. That's why you can get it. And most people cannot get it. They ain't supposed to get it. So yeah, y'all.